All right, so Gomez and Lisa here with the star and director of the latest offering from the Redhouse at the redhouse.org. It's Fred Grandy. Hello, Fred. How are you?
Hello, Gomez. Nice to be back.
Good to see you. This is the third time back for you now
Yes.
in Central New York.
Yeah, Syracuse Christmas Carol, and they offered me the part of Ebenezer Scrooge, and unfortunately my family said, oh, you'd be perfect for that, so here I am.
Had you performed this play before?
This play has never been performed. This is a brand new show, right?
It's brand new musical.
This is Hunter, by the way. He was the director, Hunter Foster. How are you, Hunter?
I'm good. Yeah, it's a brand new musical. It's never been performed anywhere, actually.
Really?
Yep. And it was written specifically for Syracuse, and it has a lot of colorful Syracuse historical characters and a lot of sort of landmarks and foods. We were talking about in the car on the way over here, like Chicken Riggies makes an appearance in the show.
Yep.
And a certain mayor who went to jail. He'll be making an appearance in the show.
We won't name any names, of course, because...
Well, so the Syracusans will really get a kick out of the references here in the Christmas Carol.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of references to Syracuse University and the teams and football and basketball. So yeah.
So I mean,
it's
it's fun to bring a show like this, which of course everybody knows Christmas Carol. People know the stories, but to kind of customize it to a community that, at least in my view, and as you pointed out, this is my third show, is so supportive of the arts and the Redhouse, which is, finding its feet and downtown in the community. So this is to me, it's like saying thank you to everybody for supporting the Redhouse. And here's a show that is absolutely tailored specifically to you.
Nice. That's pretty good. Now, is it written in such a way that after it's performed in Syracuse, could you take like the guts of it and say you wanted to do it in Hartford, Connecticut, or you wanted to do it in Buffalo, New York?
Strange you should ask. I yield to my distinguished colleague.
Well, that was the plan for this. So I actually have been directing a version in Connecticut called A Connecticut Christmas Carol, and that was the original version of it. And so when I'm the artistic director at Redhouse, and so when I took over the job here, I talked to the writers about bringing it, customizing it for Syracuse. So that's what they did. Is they sort of lifted up the hood and went in and just sort of like went in, and we worked together. Did a reading this summer with a lot of people from Redhouse and customized it to Syracuse. But it's really a brand new show in many ways. So it's even though it's based off of Connecticut Christmas Carol, it's a brand new show.
Nice. Who are you using for the Jacob Marley character? Is there a local tie with that character?
His name is Benjamin Howes. He's a New York actor who's come in. But we have, but actually for this show we have the majority of the cast is all local community actors.
Oh, fun
and professional actors.
But specifically to answer your question, Marley is that unnamed public politician that apparently somewhat, how shall I put, notorious in Syracuse lore.
Polarizing.
Said,
Polarizing.
I wouldn't go. That's how would I know? I live in North Carolina.
And the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, and all that.
All famous Syracuse people,
all
right?
famous Central New York people.
Central New York people, and
one
people
actor,
you'll know.
One actor plays plays Marley and all three ghosts.
Yeah,
cool.
Benjamin Howes.
Yeah, and he's great. He's terrific.
It's director Hunter Foster from A Syracuse Christmas Carol, along with Fred Grandy playing the part of Ebenezer Scrooge. Now, have you played, Fred, obviously not this specific show, but A Christmas Carol, just the regular one, over the years? Have you ever played this part before?
No. This is my first go at Ebenezer Scrooge, and I guess you reach a certain point in your life where you have to wake up to the reality you're now old enough to play this guy, and apparently crotchety enough, according to my family. But no, I mean, and it's a great part. It's a great story. I mean, it is to me as emblematic of Christmas as a Christmas tree or any other accoutrement that you have to celebrate the holiday.
I think we asked you this. You were I'm Not Rappaport. I think the last show
with
that
Ted
you were
Lange.
Yeah, great show, by the way. The night I went may have been the last performance of it, I think. I'm not sure, but it was spectacular. I thought it was great.
He's coming back to direct Fences here.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
Yeah.
Put that on the back burner there for us.
Sure.
But now that you've played this in rehearsal, have you learned anything about Scrooge? I ask you a similar question about I'm Not Rappaport. About now having played it, have you learned anything about Ebenezer Scrooge that you didn't know before?
He's a much more sympathetic character than I thought, because when we were talking about this just the other day, Scrooge is the way he is, I think, because life has betrayed him. People that raised him, that he cared about, that he was close to, and you'll see this in the show, have left him or betrayed him or turned on him. So the fact that he hates the world and specifically hates Christmas, I won't say it's justifiable, but it's understandable, and that's the journey he takes to kind of learn to get over and forgive, and then that's really the whole progress of the show, and it lends itself beautifully to a musical, don't you think?
I think so, and I think being Scrooge is sort of universal. I think we can all see a little bit of Scrooge in all of us sometimes. Sometimes we get down or depressed or angry about certain things, and even if it's not to the extent of Ebenezer Scrooge. And so every time we do the show, it sort of reminds you of what's important in life. And I always have like one word I choose for any show that I direct, and the show that the word for this was family, because it is about him sort of reconnecting with his nephew and understanding, especially seeing the Cratchit family and just seeing what's important in life, and family is such a big part of the show and a big part of what makes it feel what's important for the holidays as well, is reminding ourselves that how important family can be.
Very good. You have also some post-show and pre-show talks scheduled on the schedule, which I also think is a really cool way to, do this show for Christmas. And you have a sign language show coming up on December 15th.
That's right.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. We
Very
tried,
nice.
yes. The something we wanted to do this year, the pre-show talks. We just sort of like give a little pre-show where we talk about how the show was developed and what the show is about, and it's been very interesting. This is our third one, because we did it for Rent and we did it for God of Carnage, which was our first two shows of the season. And the people are. I wasn't sure if people were going to enjoy it, but they come up to me afterwards and they're like, "Oh my God, this is so informative," and to learn about how shows are put together. We talk about the show, and we actually talk about how we rehearsed and how we got it on its feet.
All right.
There's probably questions that come up that, because you guys do it for a living, much like we do this for a living, and sometimes people will come in, will give tours, school groups, whatever, and things that the kids find fascinating and have questions about, stuff that we don't think about. It's because we do it every day. I'm sure the same thing for you with questions about rehearsals or whatever. It's kind of what you do, but you don't think of it till someone asks you, and it's a fascinating part of live theater.
Yeah, I mean, the question that I always get is, how do you learn all of those lines? And everybody does it a little differently. I mean, I usually start months in advance, and my wife will cue me on a daily basis. It's destroying the marriage, but it's helping me in my role. But everybody does it a little differently and approaches it a little differently. But the nice thing about doing a play, unlike television, which is more immediate and faster paced, is you get a chance to develop an ensemble, which is a community and a family, if it works well. And that's really what draws me to the theater, is that whole kind of craft and community coming together at the same time.
And I know final nights is kind of a sad night often for actors and actresses, because it is for several months. That's your family, and then you kind of go your separate ways, and then it's a nice memory, and hopefully you stay in touch and make some good
we did,
relationships.
and actually we do stay at speaking of that, Rappaport is going to go to the Bucks County Playhouse next spring.
Kidding.
In Pennsylvania, so it will get a second life thanks to the premiere that we had here at the Redhouse.
Well, it's A Syracuse Christmas Carol, December 12th
through the 22nd
at the Redhouse. You can go to theredhouse.org for ticket information. Get your tickets. I'm sure it's going to sell out at the Great Holiday
It's selling
Show.
very
It's
well.
doing well, so get your tickets now.
Yeah.
All right, Fred, Hunter, thank you for coming in.
Thank
Best
you
wishes.
very much.
Happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Appreciate it. Thank you.